There's this quote: you are responsible for your life and your ultimate success depends on the choices that you make. I love it. I really do. Because if you have followed this channel, you know that I've shared with you my choices. I've shared with you my exact journey. And today, this is a library that I can be proud of. As of this time of filming, my net worth is comfortably above $3 million already. And today, I'd like to continue to share with you my journey and hopefully you can find some inspirational points. Hi guys, welcome back. Without further ado, let me dive on to the actual numbers. This is filmed as of 1st of October, which is my birthday month. So if the market is up as of this time you're watching, that's great. Or if the market is down, there's a market crash, I'm also okay. In fact, I might be keen to buy a bit more. So if that's clear, let's bring on the first item, which is the biggest contributor of my net worth, my Singapore stocks in my CDP account. Currently, this has cracked 900,000 already, and I'm pretty sure somewhere next year it will crack $1 million. Singapore stocks have been on a bull run, finally after underperforming for years, and what I own in my CDP account, usually I have a video tutorial on this very channel, so go dig around. You would guess quite quickly that the top holding is Propnex, followed by iFast, Baosteed, and Mapletree Industrial Trust. Recently, I've also added Sheng Siong to it because I have a video, correct? If I have 100,000, where would I invest? And I've chosen Sheng Siong as my top pick. You know, recently I went to Cathay and my boy was with me and we saw the new Sheng Siong outlet over there. So I shared with him, hey boy, Papa bought 30,000 of this company. So he asked me why. Sheng Siong seems like a very boring business, correct? So I shared with him that government is very hooked on the CDC voucher. And as long as there's CDC vouchers to Singaporeans, you would guess that there's going to be continued demand, continued tailwind for spending in our supermarkets. This could persist for a very long time, and Sheng Siong is definitely one of our best operators right here in Singapore. So I'm very comfortable owning it. I think it's also very recession proof. And if there's a price drop, you bet I'll be buying more of it. Second item on today's list are my brokerage holdings. And let me start with my Tiger Brokers account. As you can see over here, it's cracked 515,000 already. And this is the account which I have most of my Palantir stock inside. Inside it, you realize there's also Propnex, Tencent, and Hong Kong Exchange. Profits, as you can see over here, have passed 320,000 already, correct? So pretty good, and I've actually kept this capital intact, and whatever new amounts that I have to invest, I've actually added towards MOOMOO. Inside MOOMOO, I have 55,000. Allocations are towards Bitcoin, Tencent, and Palantir also. And if you're looking for a good brokerage account, check out MOOMOO. They have huge welcome rewards that you are entitled to with a new sign up today. Up next is Longbridge. Longbridge has garnered many customers in Singapore. And for myself, I've also test used the platform. It's actually pretty simple to use also. Inside it, I have my Bitcoin ETF and I also have the cash booster accounts. So again, if you're looking for a new brokerage account, check out my referral links below on Longbridge. They have up to $800 of welcome rewards, which includes free stocks, cash coupons, and also cash booster vouchers. So this new promotion is until end of October. With that clear, let's move on to the third item on my list, which is actually my crypto assets. Right now, as you can see, it's 190,000 plus, correct? And this chart really shows everything. At this time last year, the value of this crypto wallet was only 114,000. And was still, at some point, it was only like 70,000, 80,000. That bad. But as you can see, a few weeks ago, it actually hit a new high of 218,000. So let's say that it's super volatile. Doesn't matter to me because when I invest in crypto, my point of view is generational assets. I didn't want to buy a property for my son. I wanted to buy an asset that could be worth something in their generations. That's why I invested 33 Ethereum coins, accumulating them in the 2022 phase. Bear market came, I hugged on to it. No problem. Not in the immediate expense need, and I'm super patient with it. In fact, I can share with you more decision making. I view Ethereum ETF as much easier to own long term, and I'm looking for a long term path to gradually migrate these holdings into the Ethereum ETF. So when I do so, I'll also keep you posted on it. Let's move on to the fourth item for today, which is portfolios in Syfe. Now, this is finally green, correct? And the reason it took so long is because the majority was in China equities. I've shared many times, I bought China when it was going down in 2022. Little did I know it needed a 3-4 year journey, so super painful. But the main thing is I survived. And with it comes a lot of confidence that, hey, investing, however bad it seems, is just a matter of waiting, just a matter of patience. Even if I picked it wrong, there are going to be mistakes, but as long as you can survive, you realize that you shouldn't be too fearful of bear markets. Now, all these three are in green, correct? And for myself, I'll be looking to sell them eventually and rebalance it because right now, China allocations are quite big in my overall portfolio. That's why you will see later that my net worth has jumped $1 million. No joke, I'll share a few details. Let's move on to the fifth item, which is iFast portfolios. This is also where I'm adding new monies. I have a CPF OA portfolio worth 54,000. I also have an SRS portfolio worth more than 100,000. And I'm building this new stocks compounder portfolio, and inside it is worth more than 200,000 already. To compound, you also need to have the right strategies. That's why right now I'm offering a service of stocks to manage a stocks compounder portfolio. And my specialty especially is to tie together with retirement planning. So if you're keen to build for yourself a portfolio and iron out your retirement goals, look for my links below. Sixth item for today is cash. Now, if you're thinking, Josh, you have more than $3 million of net worth. Surely you have 500,000 in cash, correct? Actually, it couldn't be further from the truth. If I log into all my cash accounts, right now it's $20,000 to $30,000 only. That little. I'm not joking. In fact, I always joke that I really don't carry too much cash. And maybe that's what keeps me thrifty. I do have other emergency cash, such as my SSB, Singapore Savings Bonds of $20,000. You know, I've shared on YouTube in the last few years to buy Singapore Savings Bonds, buy Singapore Savings Bonds. If you have taken the advice, you realize you also locked in something at 3+%, correct? And back then, if you think back, everybody was thinking T-bills, T-bills, T-bills. They were very short-sighted. They didn't realize that once T-bill rates drop to right now like 1.44%, there is reinvestment risk. If you have also locked in Singapore Savings Bonds, you have this 3% cash flow for the next 10 years. So hopefully you've taken the advice and hopefully you have benefited too. So all in all, let's look at the entire liquid asset base. 929,000 in CDP account for Singapore stocks, brokerage accounts 582,000, crypto accounts 192,000, portfolios 151,000, iFast just the cash account 212,000, cash 20,000, Singapore bonds 20,000, and all in all, the total liquid assets I have is $2.1 million. Based on this alone, on the 4% withdrawal rule, you calculate backwards, you realize that this is easily $7,000 per month that I can live off if I retire today. This is more than enough to cover my expenses already. And for myself, I grew up in a HDB flat at Telok Blangah. Everything that I've mentioned today is self-built. So hopefully it inspires you in your journey. Hopefully you make the right choices also, and you build something meaningful for your family. If you agree with the message, smash the like button and share this with someone also who needs to get the inspiration to get their finances on track. Now, thank you very much, and let's go on to non-liquid assets. This year, I'm going to recategorize it as liquid and non-liquid so that we have better clarity if we want to do early retirement. So the first item of non-liquid is actually SRS. As we know, SRS can only take out after 62, correct? Without penalties, of course. So right now, I'm in the phase of selling away some of my SRS stocks to gradually move it into the equity growth portfolio I built for private clients. It's much better for retirement planning, and I should walk the talk. So right now, I've moved in $104,000 already. In my SRS accounts for stocks, I still have 220,000+. Top holdings are Maple Tree Industrial Trust, Escort Trust, and Nordic Group. When they reach the right price, I'll sell them so that I can eventually merge everything into my equity growth portfolio. Again, these are things I advise for full retirement planning because finances should be seen in totality, correct? Then you can make accurate decisions rather than everything all over the place. So the second item on the non-liquid assets are my CPF. And this is a quick screenshot. I've actually moved out some of my OA for investment, as I've shared just now. And I've written over there, SA, I still have 4 more thousand to top up for tax relief. So if you'd like to find out more on tax relief ideas as we come year end, smash or subscribe. I will be sharing with you latest updates on what you can do to save yourself some tax money. So let's not count our MediSave because that's rainy day savings for medical needs. We'll only count OA and SA, which will eventually become part of the retirement assets. Last but not least, on non-liquid assets is of course my home. This has been home for 7-8 years, and actually neighbor has sold off at $1.76 million. The loan I have right now is around $480,000 left only. So if you look at the net value divided by 2, actually this could be worth easily $650,000. But never mind, we'll just take the book value and net it conservatively at only $400,000. So all in all, my total asset base, as you can see, summarizing the liquid assets of 2.1 million and these various non-liquid assets, you realize that my net worth right now is $3.1 plus million. So up next, let me share with you the changes across 1 year and what are key learning points. This is if we map this year, age 41 versus last year, age 40. You would realize that there are massive changes in a few areas, correct? CDP value has grown by $358,000. Brokerage account, $357,000. Again, a large part is attributed to Palantir and Propnex, which are my top holdings. But actually right now, contributing are also Tencent, contributing are also Bowsteed and iFast. So what we can learn over here is those in pink are those which I put in new capital and I've seen it grow in value. So it's a combination of effort and market. Those in green are those that I did not put any new capital in. So it's purely going up by market value. So I've been diligently saving, diligently investing into various accounts, and of course with some luck by Mr. Market favoring Singapore markets as well as some things that I own, the net worth has grown by more than $1 million, correct? 1 year, $1 million. It took me 10 years to build my first $1 million, but in 1 year right now, it's gone up by $1 million. That is the power of compounding. At the start, it looks very little. Then we go on this hockey stick, which means if you have only just started your journey, be very patient, don't chase too much in terms of returns, understand that things need time, and it's like growing a tree. Once the tree gets bigger and bigger, the fruits it bears get bigger and bigger. Hopefully it's a watermelon. And hopefully you can build something also big for your family. And I wish you all the best. Again, leave in the comment sections what are questions you might need help in answering. I'll do my best and I'll invite you to this previous video. Check it out and I'll see you in next year's update. Take care and goodbye.